Good evening, I'm Jason Tony. I'm the Director of Athletics here at Sweet Briar College. I'd like to welcome you to the 2024 Sweet Briar College Athletics and Riding Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We're excited and pleased to have all of you here. I'd like to welcome current members of our Hall of Fame, cabinet, faculty, staff, guests, family, friends, and it's in the script it says all of you watched at home on the live stream, but I have to edit that out, so just bear with me. Before we begin tonight's induction ceremony, I would like to introduce to you Mary Behm Hudson, the president of Sweet Briar College.
Great to see everybody here. What a turnout. This is fantastic. So thank you, Jason, and thanks to all of you from traveling from near and far. I am pleased to see you here this evening and so grateful for the opportunity to welcome you to our Hall of Fame ceremony. It is important that we recognize those who came before us and those who made it possible for us to succeed today. You all have heard me share before that I was a student athlete, and that being part of the community forever changed my life. It was on Sweet Briar's tennis team that I developed my own leadership style, urging others to do their very best by demonstrating what my very best looked like. In addition to developing leadership, the tennis team also brought me some of my dearest friends for life, as well as one of my mentors. My coach, June Booth, many of you who knew her, was a force of nature. She showed us how to be better tennis players and also to be better teammates and citizens of our community. While I was recognized in the Hall of Fame in 2012, I would not have been there without my teammates. We made it to nationals, an event in and of itself, and while we didn't come home with wins across the board, we were proud of each other and proud of being Sweet Briar students. At the Sweet Briar of today, I see the legacy of Sweet Briar athletics continue through our current coaches, athletic director, and this generation of student athletes who are all here tonight. They carry on the coaches like Bonnie Kestner and Donna Hodger achieved during their time here. So too, do the student, faculty, and staff spectators who are there to cheer us on no matter the opponent. And one of my favorites is here tonight, Jim Kirkwood. Our student athletes' victories are our victories, and any losses are an opportunity to lift each other up. In that spirit, lifting each other up and celebrating together, it is an honor to witness this next class of the Hall of Fame. We are proud of you, Bonnie and Robin, and we are very grateful for the opportunity to celebrate you and all of your contributions to Sweet Briar. Thank you.
Thank you, President Hudson. Established in 2006, the Sweet Briar College Athletics and Riding Hall of Fame honors special achievements by alumni who have been associated with athletics and or riding at the college. These individuals have helped bring recognition, honor, distinction, and excellence to Sweet Briar College and the intercollegiate athletics and riding programs. Tonight, we continue a tradition by paying tribute to our past. We have a very distinguished group of current Hall of Famers, and I would like to start by recognizing them this evening. A few were able to be with us tonight. So as I read your name, please stand and remain standing until the end. From the class of 2006, Anna Chips Chow Pine, Canny Chrysler Schaefer, Catherine Hearn, Kay McDonald, Mildred B. Newman-Thayer, Harriet Rogers, Ann Sanford Upchurch, Mary Jane Schroeder Oliver Hubbard. From the class of 2007, Jennifer Crossland, Kara Gasconiani, Jamie Plank McCrae. From the class of 2009, Jennifer Kristen, Paul Cronin. From the class of 2012, Sally True Doe DeTillo. Janet Emily Churchill. Mary Pope Hudson. Diana Daisy Brandon. And from the class of 2017, Misty Ackerman, Makana Dunham Morris, Elizabeth Keedy Gromes Leonard, and Sally Olden Kitchen. Please join me in recognizing Tonight we induct our 6th class in the Sweet Briar College Athletics and Writing Hall of Fame. We talk to our student athletes about leaving behind a legacy for others to follow. Author Dr. Steve Maraboli would say, "You were put on this earth to achieve your greatest self, to live out your purpose, and to do it courageously." The members of this class have certainly done that, and today is an exciting and proud day for Sweet Briar College. At this time, I would like to introduce Alice Dixon, class of 1982. Alice has the honor of introducing our first inductee tonight, Robin Behm.
Jason had asked for my remarks earlier today, and I see he's got them all handy here in case I've forgotten about it, which is a great thing to see. My name is Alice Dixon. It's my very great pleasure to present Robin Behm of the class of 1979 for inclusion in the Sweet Briar College Athletic Hall of Fame as our next Hall of Fame group. During Robin's time at Sweet Briar, she competed as a member of the varsity field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse teams. Were it not for a freshman ballot mono and a junior year semester abroad, Robin would have been a 4-year 3-sport athlete. Despite missing those basketball and field hockey seasons, Robin was a varsity athlete for 10 different teams during the years of 1975 to 1979. Winning several team awards during that time. Additionally, her athletic talent and general excellence led her to be chosen to represent Sweet Briar at several regional tournaments in both field hockey and lacrosse. Robin was also selected to play in the 1978 National Field Hockey Tournament in Washington State, where she represented Sweet Briar College with dedication and excellence. Little Sweet Briar College, there was Robin holding us up. As a reflection of Robin's natural leadership skills, her teammates selected her as co-captain of several Sweet Briar teams across all 3 sports. Robin also enjoyed sponsoring and supporting and cheering on all Sweet Briar sports, and in her senior year, she was the sports editor for the Sweet Briar News. Robin served as a member of the Athletic Association for several years, and in her senior year, she was selected president. At the 1979 Athletic Awards Banquet, Robin was presented with the coveted Chrysler Award. Our namesake is here present with us. A capstone recognition of the impact that she made on the athletic program at Sweet Briar during her 4 years as a student athlete. I was a freshman during Robin's senior year, and for me, Robin was someone to whom I looked as a model of exemplary sportsmanship and fair play. She took her responsibility as a team leader very seriously, especially with her younger teammates. Robin set an uncompromising example of honesty, a love of being part of a team, and a dedication to the hard work required to excel, while relishing the joy that comes with being surrounded by friends and teammates, all working together towards a common goal. This was the exemplar that Robin set for those of us fortunate enough to know her at Sweet Briar College. After graduating in 1979, Robin's professional schedule and external sales for a specialty woods lumber supplier kept Robin close to Sweet Briar. The bonus and benefit of that was that she was able to serve as the Sweet Briar junior varsity field hockey and assistant coach of lacrosse during that time. Her commitment to athletics and to the student athletes whom she coached during that season was invaluable not just to the players, but was a tremendous help to the varsity coach, Hall of Fame member Jennifer Kristen. Robin went on to a corporate career in banking, specifically credit management, credit scoring, and IT management, with stays at Citibank, TransUnion, and First Data. Perhaps of even greater interest to the broad Sweet Briar community than a list of her many athletic accomplishments is the fact that it was Robin Behm who suggested that Sweet Briar adopt the vixen as our Sweet Briar mascot. And to me, that in and of itself is why she's here tonight. For 75 years before 1978, Sweet Briar's intercollegiate teams competed without a team name or a mascot. Sure. You all were there for that? There we go. Now I've lost my place. Hold on a second. Robin convinced the rest of the Athletic Association Committee that it was long overdue to finally establish a Sweet Briar College mascot. As a result, in the spring of 1978, a school-wide Name the Mascot contest was sponsored by the Athletic Association to select the name that could be easily cheered with gusto. Some of the suggestions, such as the Daisies, the Roses, or the Rabbits, or, are you ready? Briar Rabbit, were clearly less than evocative of a fierce and winning competitor. Robin presented vixen as a possibility. All right, here's my liberal arts degree at work for you. The word vixen has its roots in Old English and Germanic languages. It originated before the year 1000 CE from the word vixen, meaning female fox. This was derived from the Proto-Germanic word, I've got to say this carefully, Fukosjona, itself emanative of the root word fox. And again, that's my liberal arts show off there in a bit. To help conceptualize the vixen and allow students to better envision this as the mascot, Robin solicited the help of a talented art student, Mary Page, class of 78. Mary Page created an image that would represent the vixen. The result was a fox head encircled by hunting horn, a nod to Sweet Briar's long history of equestrian excellence. The vixen entry was chosen from among many submissions. While some initially did not fully embrace the female fox for our nickname, and I'll admit I was one of those, the new vixen mascot was announced by the Sweet Briar News, and cheers of "Go Vixens" were soon heard on the playing fields and courts and in the pools and showrooms. In the 46 years since it was first introduced by Robin, the vixen image has evolved from I lost my place here. Hunting horn circling a vixen head into a wide variety of creative images and logos, including the much beloved Crispin vixen. Sweet Briar has a costume fox mascot named Indy, a dynamic and fierce female fox ready to take on all comers. Our vixen, which is unique in the athletic world, has become a much beloved ambassador for Sweet Briar College. Thanks to Robin's inspiration that a female fox was just the thing to galvanize us and rally us forward. As an aside, during a recent Sweet Briar Work Week's visit, I actually counted the variety of items in the bookshop that had the vixen name, image, or logo. On the day that I did it, I stopped counting at 182 items. Now, as a class of 82, I had to draw the line there. You can purchase them and show your vixen pride. The bookshop is more than happy to help you with that endeavor. In summary, I believe that Robin's contributions to our beloved college as a student leader, outstanding three-sport four-year varsity athlete, chairman of the Athletic Association, recipient of the Chrysler Award, JV field hockey coach, and being the visionary and concept creator of our Vixen mascot, fully endorse and qualify her for selection to become a member of the Sweet Briar College Athletic Hall of Fame. That year being introduced with Bonnie Kestner, whose list of accomplishments include but are not limited to her impact on generations of students as the swimming coach for many years, seems quite fitting. It's especially exciting to me to be here tonight, as I was a student who knew and deeply respected both honorees during my time as a student. Please indulge me in one more liberal arts graduate moment with this quote from William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. Helena Act 3, Scene 2. Oh, when she's angry, she's keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school. And though she be but little, she is fierce. Many congratulations to both Robin and Bonnie, each fierce vixens on this richly deserved honor.
I usually wing it, but tonight I'm not going to. Because we've got athletes that have games tomorrow, we have riders that won today, and so I'm gonna wing through this in writing. All right. Hello, Vixen Nation. Thank you all for being here today. I want to take a moment to sincerely acknowledge all in attendance. Your presence adds great value to our gathering, and I truly appreciate your commitment to Sweet Briar Athletics. I would like to express my gratitude to President Hudson and the Cabinet. My heartfelt thank goes to Alice Dixon 82 for nominating me for this incredible honor. To Athletic Director Jason Datone and VPARLD, but more importantly, my teammate in lacrosse and hockey, Claire Dennison Griffith. To you both, I thank you for reinitiating the inductee program for the Athletics and Riding Hall of Fame. To the dedicated coaches and staff of the Athletics and Riding, thank you for your mentorship and support to grow our Vixen students into the fine athletes and amazing teams they've become. Your contributions are vital to our athletic community, and we are grateful for all you do. I'd also like to recognize my fellow Hall of Fame inductee, Bonnie Kestner. It's an honor to share this moment and great memories with you. I would like to acknowledge the members of the Hall of Fame with us tonight. You three. I can't wait to party with you in the years coming up. I am so honored to be in your company. A special shout out to my teammates in attendance today. Your camaraderie has meant the world to me, and to my family, I thank you for your unwavering love and support. So, most important, holla holla, Sweet Briar student athletes. Woo! I come back home to you from the time of wooden lacrosse sticks. The link was a position in field hockey, which I just learned from Coach Hannah Loft that there's no link anymore. New system on the field. When a set of golf clubs included woods that were actually made of real persimmon. When Sweet Briar had a basketball team. When pink and green sweaters and pleated quilts were often the team uniforms. Okay, let me stop aging myself and come back to the future. Student Vixens. We're all really here for you tonight. Who is in the house? Let me hear you. Do we have field hockey in the house? Do we have soccer in the house? Do we have swimming and diving yet? Is Zach in the house? Who else? Winter team, softball starting a little bit, tennis starting a little bit. Okay, softball?
Yeah.
Woo! And tennis?
The tennis is on the road.
Okay. Thank you, Hannah. Hannah's kept me straight through all of this. Oh, I do have coffee. Skipped it. Sorry. Yeah, persimmon woods. Hang on! There you are. Okay. Excellent. So here we go. Let's just say when I was looking at colleges, it only took a campus tour to make me pay attention to Sweet Briar. I came back for a weekend stay in the dorms, and the visit was so good, I came back for another one. By the time I came to Sweet Briar as a freshman, I was so charged up to spend every minute of every day experiencing everything Sweet Briar. Leadership, team sports, taking every inch of the campus, try to ride a horse, junior year abroad, double majoring. Vixens, does this irresistible overloading sound familiar? Right. How lucky are we to find all of this in this special place? I say to you, please absorb all you can, young Vixens. It will serve you well. So, when one is asked if they have any photos from 45 years ago, for a slideshow or some stats, that dog is just not gonna hunt. I believe we saw some black and whites among all of Bonnie's 30-year career. Hers were almost all beautiful, poolside, color photos. Yep, for me, kind of sad. But believe it or not, I did play in the day of color photography. And I can prove it. Oh yeah. So I just have a few photos that I pulled together from my 3 different seasons. Some of my guests are in them, so we're just going to do a couple anecdotes here. That's me as a freshman. I had no money for the Halloween costume party that was coming up. So when in doubt, athletes, grab your gear. Next, please. You all saw the Mr. Peanut photo of the lacrosse team. That's one of the most famous photos. But this is really that lacrosse team, and they weren't in the yearbook into the next year. So I just wanted to put Coach Crispin up with her dogs and many of our wonderful players. That was a great team. Let's see, these are out of order, so we'll just go with what we can go with. Bonnie, I think this is when you gave me the, I want to say, Chrysler Award. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So, I guess SAC is now what the Athletics Association used to be. Representatives from all the sports and trying to get the entire campus, who we said were all members of the Athletic Association, to get into intramurals, get into jogging the campus, to really get and have it in life for exercise and fitness. Okay? And here's Coach Jennifer Crispin. So here she's giving me a lacrosse award, which I coveted. And between those 2 awards, I just floated out of here. Let's see, we have a couple more. Oh, I learned lacrosse from my father, number 11, Johnny Behm. So I thought I should just put him up there and thank him. This is top you up. Here's just some random pictures of some practice to games to selection tournaments. So we're practicing. I'm in a pink a pink Oxford shirt here, so it must have been a bad laundry week. I don't know why. So here we are at selection. We have numbers on our backs, and we are all playing at Sweet Briar College. And this really was great for Sweet Briar's reputation because we had the two hockey fields before we had the turf field and everything side by side, and everybody was out in this beautiful weather and competing to be selected and to beat our rival. Okay, there's some of the players who got selected. I'm of course in a Sweet Briar sweater because I was just always in this Sweet Briar sweater. But I think what you might really like is if you go all the way to the second from the left. That is a selected referee, our very own Jennifer Crispin. So we all got to go together. That was the year I got selected to go to the Washington National Tournament. And that was such a great opportunity. My friend to the right was Lori Hatfield, and she was on the Athletic Association with me and the executive part of that, and was very helpful to me. The woman to my right was Susan Rowan. We have lost Susan, and I just wanted to bring her up. We were very close, and she was named, her nickname was Tiagi, because she hardly ever spoke. She was a really good player. She played link with me, and we went on a lot of vacations and fun things together. So I just wanted to bring her up so you could all remember her. And that's us after we played all our games at Virginia Tech, who had a turf field. And we would race over to the corner when we were done, and we would get into the pole vaulting cushions. And we couldn't get out of it. Okay, we're going on to, this picture's in here because this was a practice warm-up before a game at another school's gym. Pretty drab, right? If you look behind, you will see the N. Hollins sign. We hadn't beaten Hollins in basketball in 10 years. That year we won. President Whiteman wrote us a letter. It was the most beautiful letter. He was so proud of us. And he said, "You must have been listening when I gave my speech at the end of the year for what you should strive." And that was my senior year. That was the 3 seniors leaving the team. And great memories. But you see, our gym is so much more beautiful and decorated. I think President Whiteman was talking about our sportsmanship because when we did go to the last tournament of all the schools, this team got the sportsmanship award. And so I was kind of embarrassed for the Hank Hollins sign. Okay, all right. I told you, Gene. There you all are. There's our lacrosse cheerleaders. They got the sweater going, the hats going, and the sticks going. Lots of spirit, lots of spirit. This is just me. I just intercepted from a Randolph-Macon player, and I was a left defense wing, so there was a lot of opportunity to get interceptions and then go down the field and set up the play. So this was in an admissions magazine that had our very own Claire Dennison on the cover. 1980, I think. We have to find that mag. I gotta find those pictures. Anyway, this is a pep rally that we did for a lacrosse game. This is Katie Ewald, and she was always sticking stuff in her glasses, so she had Beat Macon on there. We have recently lost Kate, but she was truly our team spirit, and and she was a great player, and she was so funny. She talked too much, and Gabby did not talk enough. Here is the pep rally. That's me being the team captain, Tony Santangelo being the team manager, and Suzanne Collins. Yes, thank you. I always call her best friend, so I didn't remember. Anyway, and the cheerleader. So this was the dress of the times. Little Lily going on there, Tony. All right, we had these pep rallies. I know you're all laughing at my car. I know. It's not a Peugeot, I know, Holly. Anyway, we actually had pep rallies in the quad. And this was at lunchtime. And I had a CB radio. And I could pull up the microphone. And I could go around and say, come out to the game, sports fans. Come out, Vixens, and let's beat Randolph-Macon. So all the cheerleaders would get on the back, and they could hold on because there's a big spoiler on the back of that car. Ay. Well, here's my favorite coach, Jennifer Crispin, and she is saying to me in this picture, after all of this pep rally, you better win today. And I am smiling going, I know. Well, we could drink if you were 18 back in the day. So this would always be us gathered with Coach Crispin, having a beer, talking about the game. Which we won! Look at all that tape. So, Wendy and I my wife Wendy, and I live in Palm Springs, in California. And when we lose somebody, we put up my 2 last wooden sticks. The rest of them were completely destroyed. And we put out candles, and we remember people close to us, and for me, it's my athletes. So graduation came, and that is my mother who bantered. She's only 37 in this picture. She has a college graduate. Young families back then, right? Anyway, she bantered the vixen back and forth with me. And I was concerned whether the other me, as Alice has taken us through, would just candy. So instead, she said, no, it's perfect, do it. So those are my 2 little twin sisters. And next picture. That is True Dow with my brother, who's here tonight. True was a sibling from another mother for John and I. And there are my little sisters coming to graduation. And they're just important I want to show their faces because when this contest went on, they were crayoning so many vixens. I mean, vixens doing this and vixens doing that. And they were so excited about it. So I think we're at the end here. What are we at? So the Crispin Vixen. Yep, you did. Yes, well, I'm here to remind you for the rest of your life. Anyway, when we handed off the horn with the vixen that was on the newspaper that year, on the sports page, they handed it off to them, and we got the Crispin Vixen. And I just love that it's called the Crispin Vixen. And this is amazing. The fierce vixen. I'm so proud. So, I can't close without recognizing that things of late have been strained at Sweet Briar. Not really here at Sweet Briar, but in the Sweet Briar community. I have one heart holding my love for Sweet Briar. And I have that same heart holding my love for my LGBTQ plus community. This divide has broken my heart in two. So I'm going to close with a Yom Kippur prayer that I hope helps us reflect on how we come together to do what we do best. Solve with education, transparency, fairness, dignity, respect, and we can do this. Here's the prayer, and then Bonnie, sorry I made you wait so long, but I had 4 years and I had to make sure that you didn't show me up. Dear God, I want to apologize for all the times you put a gift in my hands and I turned it down. For all the times you gave me the tremendous gift of speech, with the power of unifying words, words to comfort and words to uplift. But I chose instead to remain quiet. For all the times you gave me the beautiful gift of thought, with the ability to explore your wisdom, wonder at creation, ponder solutions, and search for the good. But I chose instead to remain ignorant. For all the times you gave me the incredible gift of action, with the potential to transform the mundane to a higher purpose, to unite my hands with your will, to provide assistance, and to create. But I chose instead to remain idle. Dear God, I am sorry for each time I turned down your gift, because I thought I wasn't enough, that I was too small. I am sorry that I did not understand. I did not believe that wrapped up inside the gift was also strength, and you yourself offering support and guidance. I'm sorry for all the times I did not believe in myself, I did not believe in you, I did not believe in us. Please grant me another chance, another year of your wondrous gifts, and this time I will do my best to remember all that is wrapped inside. Now, go be fierce, Vixens!
At this time, I would like to introduce Donna Bodger, class of 1989. And Donna has the honor of introducing our final inductee this evening, Bonnie Kestner.
That was exciting to go down memory lane. I think I was born a little bit too late because I missed that 18-year-old drinking age cutoff. Exciting times. We didn't get that. So, thank you, athletes, for coming out tonight. I know it's a Friday night, and it's really nice to see so many of you out there. So, as some of you may or may not know, I had the opportunity to return here to my alma mater in 2014 to serve as the head coach of the Vixen swim team. And I remember one of my first days on campus, I was walking around the back, kind of reintroducing myself to Sweet Briar Athletics, and I walked through the Hall of Fame. And I looked around and I said, you know what? Bonnie Kestner has to be in this Hall of Fame. So for me to be standing here today, introducing her and sharing what she has meant to me with you is just, it's surreal. It's surreal to come back and coach, and now I'm standing here honoring this amazing person. Bonnie served as the head coach from 1977 to 1987, and she took a break from swimming to serve as the director of athletics, and returned to coaching again in 1997 until 2003. At that time, she stepped back and was an assistant, and she continued to work as an assistant from 2003 to 2014, which is the year that I came on board. She came from Sweet Briar. She came to Sweet Briar from Yale University, where she broke barriers as the first ever female competitive swimmer at the institution, and the first Upon her arrival at SBC, Bonnie set to work, and in the spring of 19 1978, her team became the Virginia Small College Champions in their first season ever. A four-time Old Dominion Athletic Conference Coach of the Year, Bonnie produced one AIAW Nationals finalist, 5 NCAA All-Americans, which is amazing, and 18 All-Conference swimmers. During her time at the helm of the program, the Vixens went on to win 4 ODAC titles, while 5 swimmers were named ODAC Swimmer of the Year. Additionally, Bonnie served on the NCAA Division III Swimming and Diving Committee, and in 2007, she herself was ranked by FINA as one of the top 10 master swimmers in the world in her age group. Currently, the Old Dominion Athletic Conference keeps Bonnie's legacy alive through the Bonnie Kestner Sportsmanship Award, which goes to a swimmer who demonstrates dedication and true sportsmanship each year at the conference championship. So Bonnie Kestner will live in our conference for a very, very long time. But most of us know Bonnie in a much different way. Like many others who swam for Bonnie, I sat in her office as a shy 18-year-old. Her calm demeanor and motherly instincts instantly drew me in. However, I could also see in her tone, she had a seriousness about her, and she continued to share with me some of the accomplishments of the team, including those of my teammate Liz McKnight, who was one of the 5 Vixen All-Americans. Each of us can retell a story of each of the early encounters with Bonnie, and how she had a talent for staying in touch with not only us, but our families throughout the recruiting process. Often she was writing postcards and handwritten notes, not only to her potential swimmers, but to their families as well, which showed her dedication to building the program. Once we were on campus, Bonnie was like a mother, taking us under her wing and making us feel safe and secure despite being miles away from home. Karen Fennessy-Catola recalls her time on the team and how Bonnie was such an inspirational coach who created a supportive, calm team environment while allowing each individual to be themselves. Heidi Metzger-Potter said Bonnie was the main reason that she chose to attend Sweet Briar. She remembers her early meeting with Bonnie. I remember her eyes that seemed to twinkle, her bright smile, her soft-spoken voice. That was the norm for her, except when she was on the pool deck. But most importantly, Heidi remembered Bonnie's love for the sport and the love for every person who swam for her. Her dedication instilled in me and many others the desire to do the best that you could in and out of the pool. She was always available to us. We could find her on the pool deck or in her office at any hour of the day. That availability was very comforting. She would even open her house to the team. I recall one evening when a group of us had finished practice. We walked to the dining hall, and as you athletes know, sometimes you get down to the dining hall and there's not much left for you to eat. So we decided to walk over to Bonnie's house. 5 of us knocked on the door, and Bonnie welcomed us in. She made a dinner for us, and she and Chuck welcomed us to her dinner table. And I can't imagine feeding 5 hungry athletes on a whim, but Bonnie did that. That's the kind of person she was. Contrasted with that wonderful, kind, open-hearted woman was the determination of a coach who also wanted us to succeed and work hard. In gathering these stories from teammates, many were quick to point out Bonnie's warm heart and kind smile. But on the flip side, they mentioned her firm demeanor and accountability on the pool deck. Squiffy Walker Christopher simply said, on deck, Bonnie was tough. Our workouts were so hard. She would get us in the water and keep us moving for the entire duration of practice. No time to chat or catch a breath. During one winter practice on a snowy morning, Karen Fennessy recalled that Bonnie slipped off the pool deck for a period of time to grab a swimmer who was under the impression that you did not have to practice on a snowy day. Bonnie arrived with that teammate in hand, and from that day on, that teammate never missed another practice. Libby Shackelford Metzler, a member of the very first swim squad, recalls Bonnie watching Bonnie effortlessly swimming butterfly while she was 9 months pregnant. Libby said to me with wide eyes, Bonnie would jump in the pool and beat all of us. She was tough, and we never wanted to disappoint her, so our toughness grew alongside hers. To this day, I recall preparing for my individual swim at the NCAA championship. I had qualified the 200 fly, which is one of the toughest races in swimming. Swimming one 200 fly is tough, but Bonnie gave me a set of 10 200s fly. Yes, she did, Bonnie. Yes, she did. And I recall thinking, is she crazy? How am I going to do this? I think Bonnie read my mind because she explained the best approach to a set like that and gave me tips on how to keep the pace and keep my stroke together. And sure enough, I made it through the set with success by keeping her plan in mind. She was the smartest coach, a true student of the game. She could recall swimmers' times from every meet that they had competed in for their entire 4-year career. She knew the exact pace a swimmer had to train to reach a goal, and she knew this for a team of 20-plus swimmers. Jennifer Crossland, who's also a member of the Hall of Fame, was impressed with Bonnie's mental math skills. She said, quote, "During meets, I was always amazed how Bonnie could keep up with each swimmer's splits. Not only our teams, but the opponents. She would make predictions on the finish times, all while calculating how that finish time and placing would affect the score. Never once did she use a calculator, but did all of this in her head. For her, we learned to swim smarter and harder. She truly molded us into stronger and more intelligent women just by watching her doing those calculations." Bonnie taught us accountability, and hard work pays off. I look on all the success of my teammates and their careers and their families and how they've raised their children to be successful. And I know that a big piece of Bonnie is in each and every one of us. The way she corrected her swimmers who may have played an inappropriate prank, such as a quick jump out of the team van in their skivvies, or maybe getting caught hanging out with members of a visiting band. She would spend time teaching us in a firm and motherly way the lessons of life, including responsibility and representation, making sure that we were the best models of good behavior. Her impact has spread like the branches of a beautiful oak tree. First, it spread to each of the swimmers who passed through her program, then, I believe, to our own children. Little did I know, watching her and her children during practice and on training trips helped me to manage motherhood in my career. I saw how effortlessly Bonnie coached us with children on deck. She never let her attention to our practice wane, but knowing what it takes to be a mother with young children close by, she somehow managed to run a challenging workout with kids in tow. I recall fondly taking a short break at the end of a hard swim and watching Wiley place what he called citrus fruits at the end of each of our lanes. He said it would help us swim faster. Thank you, Wiley. Later, when I became the head coach of the team and also had my children tagging along on winter training trips, it seemed so natural to be on deck with my children, interacting with my own swimmers. And both my former swimmers and my own children often share fond memories with me about those times. Had I not seen Bonnie in action, my own kids may have missed out on these amazing life moments. Jen Crossland also shared with me that she just said, Bonnie was not just our coach. Bonnie was a living example of a well-rounded life. She was a devoted wife, a mother to 2 amazing children. While working a full-time job that required crazy hours and long weekends, Bonnie stayed devoted to practicing the Oregon. She continued to train and break records in master swimming, and she also continued her education, earning additional degrees in a variety of disciplines. She was the true Renaissance woman, and I think the true Sweet Briar woman. To have a long career as a swim coach, and I'm still coaching, but much younger children now. Today, my athletes from my past teams will send me updates and photos of their families. I know without a doubt I would not have been as effective as a coach had I not seen Bonnie in action. Her firm and loving motherly approach to making us better has stuck with me throughout my career. But more important than being my swim coach, Bonnie has been there for me, coaching me through my life. Always giving me encouragement and kind words during each big phase that I was going through. My marriage, having children, when my jobs were changing, when I or my children had illnesses, even going through my divorce. Bonnie has been there beside me, giving me wisdom and praying to keep me strong. Her dedication to following the Word of God and living a life of honor, along with her passion for nutrition and exercise and living a healthy life, has been a constant source of inspiration. I was fortunate to have Bonnie cheering me on through life, and I know that I'm not the only swimmer she's cheering for. But I definitely feel that my coach has been there for me for a long time, and I cannot thank her enough. As I was collecting memories for this event, I reached out to a close teammate, and the first thing that she said to me was, "Donna, you remind me of Bonnie." But that statement put a really large smile on my face. As I set about looking through old photos of my time as a swimmer, and more recently as a coach, and I saw in my photos the same gleam in the eye, stopwatch in hand, which I meant to put the stopwatch on so I time myself. But I don't know if you recognize this, Bonnie. I do believe this might be the stopwatch from your very first year of coaching here, possibly. I'm going to bring it back to you. I'm happy I found it. Anyway, when this friend told me that I reminded her of Bonnie, it actually put a really large smile on my face. And when I started to look back at pictures of me and what I've done, I said, yep, you know what? I am so happy to be called Bonnie Kestner. It makes me happy. It's the sport that drew us all to Sweet Briar, and those of you sitting out here in the audience that are athletes, it is the sport that may have drawn you here. But Bonnie made us the people that we are today, and that is truly what a Hall of Famer is all about. Not the stats, but what they do and the millions of lives that they touch. So congratulations, Bonnie, on this well-deserved honor. Your passion, grace, and integrity live in each of us. I plan to take many more trips back to campus, walking through the Hall of Fame and admiring your face among the other Vixens. Now I know all about the Vixens. So congratulations, Bonnie, and thank you for giving me the honor of speaking on your behalf.
Bonnie Kestner.
Hello. I kind of don't know how to begin. Donna, that was just amazing. I don't know who you were talking about. I'm 72 years old, and honestly, I don't remember 90% of the things. And Robin, congratulations. And I wanted to just kind of put a little addendum on your Vixen story, and that is that some years later, when I was department chair athletic director, I thought that we really needed a real Vixen. So I looked at some catalogs and I found a big Vixen suit, which is still being worn by our admissions counselors who stand at checkpoint when we have a prospective student weekend and wave everybody in with a Vixen suit. So your idea has gone a long way. All right. I wanted to begin at the beginning by sharing with you some thoughts about me that you may not know. My love for aquatics started at the beach. I was told that my grandmother took me to the beach at about age 4 while she was sunbathing, and I started walking out into the water and going further and further until she sat up and looked and came running after me. The next slide is a surprise to someone who's sitting here. A good friend of mine, June McNamara. He was June Matakis at the time. We have been friends since 6th grade. When we started 9th grade at Cold Spring Harbor High School, and actually there are 3 of us here this evening who went to Cold Spring Harbor High School. Another one is Pamela Weeks. Our 9th grade year was the year that we started a girls' team at Cold Spring Harbor High School. And I was on the JV tennis team at the time, and June came up to me and she said, "Hey, we got this wonderful swim team, why don't you come on and try it?" So I did. And after 2 days of practice, I was hooked. And I've never looked back since. "30 years ago, or maybe 31, Jean says, her family moved down here, and I was coaching and picking up coaching again after a long leave of absence. And I asked Jean if she would be my assistant coach, and she did, so she's also been an assistant coach at Sweet Briar. Thank you, Jean. The next slide shows me as a high school swimmer. Notice the different style cap and the lack of goggles. This was really the very early days of girls swimming. Or swimming, well, swimming wasn't very old either, but we swam at our local YMCA, and they had swimming lessons going on at the same time, so we swam half laps. You remember that? Up and back, half laps. And yeah, the goggles would have been helpful, but they can't make it. The first year of our high school competition, we had 25s and 50s, and actually there's another Cold Spring Harbor High School graduate here, and that's my wonderful cousin, Priscilla Johnson. She was also on those first high school swim team, Cold Spring Harbor. And our events were 25s and 50s, which means 1 length and 2 length. The next year, they added 100 freestyle as the distance event. I think they thought girls couldn't handle, the longer distances. So now we jump to college. Yale had begun accepting women undergraduates in the fall of 1969. My high school coach encouraged me to apply. I wrote an essay on my application that started with the words, "I am a water rat." And I'm convinced that's why they accepted me. Yale had no women's team yet, but because my high school coach knew the legendary Yale men's coach, Phil Moriarty, I was allowed to train with the men's team. What an honor to swim in the same pool with future Olympians. In my junior year, there were more women who wanted to swim, so we started a women's club team. In my senior year, we became a varsity, and I did become the captain of the first Yale women's varsity swimming and diving team in 1973-74. This is our team photo. I'm the front and center there. After graduating from Yale, I worked as assistant coach of the Yale women's varsity for 2 years, and I also assisted with the Yale Swim Club, an age group team that used the Yale facilities. Here are a couple of photos of me as an assistant coach of the Yale women's varsity team. One of our swimmers, Paige Hiller, and there's the 1974-75 team. I'm in the far corner on the left as assistant coach, and the woman in the front center is my teammate, Roseanne Marcus Riddick, who became the coach for the next 2 years after I graduated. Okay, next slide is a shot of the Sweet Briar pool under construction. At the top, you see the, I guess it was the dedication of the cornerstone or something, but it's the couple, Elizabeth and Charles Prothro. Some of you probably recognize that name, who gave a bulk of money for the swimming pool. And I understand the alums have been raising funds for that pool for 50 years, so it was a big event to have that swimming pool. One of my later coaches here, who I had the honor of serving under, Jason Gallagher, would say that our coach is one of the finest, maybe the finest in the conference, even years later. So they did a lot of careful planning with that pool. This next slide is 2 men who had a great deal to do with my coming to Sweet Briar. Phil Moriarty, in the lower right, who was the Yale coach, and President Harold Whiteman. At this point, I'd like to invite my across-the-street neighbor, Mr. Vitoni, to come up. Mr. Vitoni doesn't know me very well, And yeah, he will after this talk. So I thought I'd give him an opportunity to ask me some questions about my early years at Sweet Briar.
Thank you.
All right.
And again, if the parties at your house stayed out loud for that much longer, I'll probably be able to say. So my first question to you is, how did you get to Sweet Briar?
Well, the short answer is in this orange Super Beetle Volkswagen. Drove it all the way down here over the mountain. I didn't know not to take 60. So I arrived on campus. I was, in 1975 to 1977, I was studying at Yale Divinity School in addition to my assistant coaching jobs. In the spring of 1977, Phil Moriarty told me about a small women's college in Virginia that was building a pool and looking for a swim coach and aquatics group. He had been asked to be a consultant here and thought they should have a female swim coach. He told Sweet Briar's president, Harold Whiteman, that I would be a good fit for the position. I really liked what I was learning at the Divinity School at the time and wanted to do more there, but when I got the call from Sweet Briar's president, I thought it wouldn't hurt to go down for an interview.
So tell me about your interview.
I really want to know. After meeting with the physical education department and the academic dean, President Whiteman called me to chat with him in his office. His first words to me were, "Well, what did you think?"
My immediate response was, I'm scared.
All right, so I was scared. I'd never been a head coach at a college to me. And with this daunting new facility, I felt that there would be high expectations. So I wondered if I would be able to meet them. I'm scared. What a way to impress an impossible future employer. I did not have the benefit of a Barb Watts career counseling coach. Can you believe that Sweet Briar hired me?
Did they not have any other applicants?
She wrote this, right?
Yes, they had at least one other. Her name was Eve Atkinson. She had been a top swimmer and had coaching experience. Yale was looking for a new head coach for the women's team, and I was on their search committee. When Eve was hired at Yale, she went through her application. Then they offered me the position here for a grand sum of money, $10,000. I thought I would stay 1 year. After that incredible first year, thank you, I'm still here and enjoying retirement on this beautiful campus. A couple of words to students about applying for jobs. First, meet with Barb Watts. She's a fine human being and an excellent career counselor. Second, make use of the amazing Sweet Briar alumni network. I'm convinced that it was the grace of God and my Yale connections that got me the job at Sweet Briar. Your Sweet Briar connections can do the same for you. So make good use of them.
Tell me about your first experiences at Sweet Briar.
I drove down from Connecticut with my orange Volkswagen stuffed to the hilt with my belongings. I was told to go to the Buildings and Grounds office to get the keys to my house on campus where I would be living. House number 10 on Faculty Row, where Mimi Roden, our director of riding, lives now. So I went to the office, and Christine Faulkner, the secretary, said, "Mr. Kestner wants to meet you right away." Mr. Kestner, the director of buildings, greeted me and immediately escorted me to the filter room below the pool deck. proceeded to give me a lengthy tour of the filter room, explaining in detail how everything worked. He was so proud of that pool. He was one of the original designers, I read. He was a civil engineer as well as director of buildings. I pretended to be interested, trying to learn every detail, but all I really wanted to do was unload my car and move out of my house. There he is. Now I was really scared. What if I don't remember all that he told me? Mr. Kestner was actually very helpful that first year, wanting to make sure everything worked correctly and explaining things to me over and over again. He and others designing the pool had made one big mistake though. They thought because the pool was surrounded by an air tunnel, which it is, that they didn't need to heat the water. So I had the most incredibly dedicated group of swimmers that year. They just, did everything I told them to do. They swam in that freezing cold water. It was like in the mid-70s or low 70s that first year in January. And we had double practices some days. And then I taught a water safety instructor class between the practices. And at least one of our alumni here took that class. So I don't know how you go through it. The pool heating system and heat lamps for the divers were installed shortly after that. Okay, so here is the alumni magazine for fall 1977. And as you can see, the college was just so excited to have this facility. And so they devoted several pages to the swimming program. This was a photo taken by Langley Wood, who was an environmental sciences professor here, and a very good photographer. And it's a time-lapse photo of one of our swimmers who was also a pretty good diver. Her name is Whitley Green. And so that was on the cover of the photo. And then if you go to the next slide, boom, underwater shot of Whitley in the water. So, next question.
What were your keys to success that first year?
I would say hard work on the part of the swimmers, animal phase, which is what we called our January term training, telling the team over and over that I believed they could do it and keeping it fun. They were out to do themselves, and they did.
So I was going to ask you how you kept that momentum going, but then I found this article, it just happens to be in my hand, from the Sweet Briar News in 1983 that might talk about that. So there are a couple of things in here. One of them is you're discussing your Florida trips, where you are going to be wining and dining your team at the day's end. The other quote was that the team must follow a strict diet of pizza, plenty of bread, and 28 scoops of ice cream on a daily balanced meal.
Where did you get that?
Oh, you gave it to me.
Oh, did you give him that? That's the wrong one. I think we're going to have to end this interview right here, Mr. Porter. We'll continue this another time. You're going to return to your seat. It's not really my coaching that accounts for the success of our program. I was hired to work in the physical education department here without ever having taken a course in physical education. I had a lot to learn. In the early 1980s, I embarked on a Master of Education degree at the University of Virginia and studied there part-time, completing my degree in 5 years, along with coaching, teaching, and trying to help raise 2 little ones. And I'll insert a little anecdote here. A member of my family came up to the first part of that sports psychology conference, which was my introduction to the program. He came along with a playpen and diapers. And so I would sit there taking notes, and these people at the conference would hold filing for me. It was really cool. That wasn't his only expedition that summer. I was really crazy in those days. We had a diver named Bonnie Behm who wanted to look for diving skills, and I had heard that they had a really excellent diving camp at Harvard. So Lisa and Wiley and I went up to Harvard. And I couldn't find it, but I have a photo of Wiley on the trampoline, actually. He was just starting to crawl. They also had, we were staying in dorms at Boston University downtown Boston, and they had a couple of fire drills in the middle of the night. So Wiley and I trekked down from the 5th floor and slid down the street. You put up with a lot, Wiley. But, so my master's degree in physical education with a concentration in sports psychology was valuable training for me, and it's been useful not only in sports but in life. You probably can't read the authors on the bottom there. Those of you in the golf world may have heard of Robert Rotella, who's a famous sports psychologist and has written in magazines and books. He was the director of the program and very much of a mentor to me. And then the last one, Anne Riley, was actually a tennis coach here for several years. And so she got a PhD in the same program that I got my master's in. More than anything, though, it was the people I had the pleasure of working with and the students I was fortunate to teach and coach that made the experience so fulfilling. I want to talk briefly about a few of these amazing people as I continue to share my story. Sally Ann Colson, class of 78. There she is, that said behind the green. Yeah, that was typo. But anyway, Sally was a great leader and an outstanding captain. A psychology major, she went on to become president and CEO of MedWatch, a population health management company, now the largest in the business. She took the company from a small little company of 24 to 400 plus, to one, and then to one covering medical care of over 2 million people nationwide. Their mission is to assure people are receiving the right care in the right place at the right time and for the right cost. You want to stand up for a second? Then there's Jean here, Barton, class of 78, who is on the very far right in the team photo. You can stand up too, Jean. And I think there's a student here named Margaret, who's a figure skater. Well, Jean was a champion figure skater. And she didn't have much of a swimming background, but trained hard and improved greatly. I remember her running with us in the fall, pushing through the pain with a hurt foot. We didn't have any athletic trainers at that time in the community. She's very proud of her first place finish in the 200 backstroke in the VA IAW Small College Championships. We're celebrating. With Beth Hogan Hopwood. Here's a quote from Jean, and this really brings me to tears. I learned from you that anyone who is willing to put the work in will see the joys and fruit of that hard work. I was a terrible, beginner competitive swimmer, and you know it. And somehow, through your incredible gift of encouraging coaching, I won an event at the state championships. That win was so special for me. Thank you, Coach. You haven't been on me ever since. That's why I always say thank you to you whenever I see you. I'm so grateful to you. I became a banker out of college and then a chef. I love both jobs, but being a banker paid for becoming a chef, which I love more. Yes, we had a diving team. Sweet Briar's vice president and treasurer, Peter Daniel, had been a collegiate diver at Dartmouth and UVA and agreed to coach our divers for the first few years. He made sure we had state-of-the-art diving boards and even a bubble that projected air air from the bottom of the pool so divers could see the water from the 3-meter board. Our divers were very successful and added a lot of points to our score when diving was part of our competitions. Diving was phased out of the ODAC a number of years ago due to lack of facilities and qualified diving coaches at most of our competitor schools. One of our first divers, Jill Steenheim's class of 1980, is pictured coming off of the 1-meter board below in a tandem dive. That's really very difficult to do, to have 2 divers go off at slightly different times, because it's going to take the 3-meter diver longer to get down and be photographed. I think maybe that was Langley Whittaker.
No, Holly McLaughlin.
Oh, Holly McLaughlin! Oh! One of our first divers, Jill would have been with us today, but she is on a tour of the East Coast showing her art works, and she's with her son who's also showing some of his sculpture works. And they are very accomplished artists. I had the privilege this summer of spending a few days with them down in Provence. And so if you ever have a chance to go to a Jill Steenheim show, do so. I hope that she will be able to come here again sometime soon and do a workshop and/or a show. She's one of our greats. I wanted to share a few memories of the classes of 1982 and 83. The roommate of Ann Edmonds' class of 82, she's Ann Edmonds Hansen now, Dr. Ann Edmonds Hansen. One of our class of 82 swimmers, and she also became a diver also her senior year. Her roommate was Ethel Burrell Dowling, and Ethel became our secret elf of the swimming and diving team. And she would go around and leave little goodies in the mailboxes of the swimmers and divers. And she was just a great source of team spirit, encouraging notes. And Ethel, wherever you are, you're here somewhere. Oh, did she just leave? Oh, darn. Well, I'll make sure she hears this. But I wanted to thank her for being such a contributor of positivity to our team. Alice Dixon was the class president of 1982, and we had become good friends. Alice was also a three-sport athlete here and a fellow. No, I guess you're not a Hall of Famer yet, but you probably will be soon. Okay. The next couple of slides show the enthusiasm of our first year team. They did a lot of cheering. The teams now do cheering. I just haven't heard a lot of that lately. But we had some cheers that went like, we don't mess around. Hey, we don't mess around. And you can't stop the green machine. You know you can't stop the green machine. Ann Edmonds' sister, Sarah Edmonds Butters, class of 83, followed Ann to Sweet Briar and was one of our most talented swimmers ever. And there's Sarah graduating. She was our first swimming nationals qualifier, competing in the AIAW National Championships her freshman year, and was a finalist in All-America in the 50-yard butterfly. Her school and pool records in that event still stand today. Of course, that event is not swum anymore. Sarah would have been here with us this evening, but she's not able to attend due to health reasons. I thank her for her hard work and dedication to our program. She was a gem. Pamela Weeks, class of 83, was a number of our stellar swimmers. You can stand up. She was a distance swimmer and butterflyer and held records in the distance freestyle events for several years. She and I actually came from the same high school at Cold Spring Harbor. Pam unfortunately broke her arm at one point, but that didn't stop her from swimming, as you can see in this photograph of her swimming with a forearm cast on. Pam went on to become the co-founder of Levain Bakery, and that now has numerous stores in major cities along the East Coast. Do not hesitate to try some of their cookies. The next slide shows the 1979-80 team, I believe. And here, in the following slide, here are swimmers at NCAA Nationals, I think in 1983. I was delighted to hear from a couple of our class of 1984 swimmers, Juliet Jacobson Kessler and Vicki McCullough, who are in the next slide. Here they are. Juliet was the captain, I believe, right? Captain in 1984. And the thing that I remember so well about Juliet is that she just had this smile that never quit. And she never complained. Out of all those crazy sets, I wanted to also respond to Donna that I never asked you all to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And, you swam 10 200 flies. Well, there was one year that we did a swim-a-thon to raise money, and you had to swim 200 lengths of the pool, and you got people to, support you. Anyway, I swam the whole thing butterfly. Okay. Vicki on the left here was not able to be with us today, but I was delighted that Juliet could come. Juliet is now the executive director of Endless River Adventures. Look at the variety of things our loves have done in North Carolina, and has partnered with Sweet Briar on several occasions with our outdoor programs trips. And we're hoping that they will reconnect and start this again, because I think it's an amazing experience. I want to say a couple of words about teaching here. My beginning swimming class was my very favorite, as the students in that class really appreciated what they were learning. They were so motivated, and they really wanted to overcome their fears. One of my star pupils was Barbara Page, a Turning Point student in the class of 1983. Are you here, Barbara? She was going to come, but I guess she didn't make it. But so Turning Point student is an older student, not a traditional age student. And she said had said to her family members, when I asked them to dive in the deep end, she said, "What happens if I don't come up?" She did, and she went on to pursue a successful career as a pianist and church musician. All right, so this slide talks about a class in adaptive aquatics for the handicapped, which was another one of my favorite classes to teach. We brought residents, I guess we call them, from the Central Virginia Training Center, along with staff people, and they worked with the residents in our pool. And the students, our students would work along with the staff members, so they got to learn how to work with these residents. I've never had a group of people appreciate the pool more. They would come back for their next class, and they would bring drawings that they made of the pool. They were so appreciative. So that was a very fulfilling experience. So back to athletics. We sent swimmers to nationals again in the spring of 1984. In the fall of 1984, we actually beat Georgetown University in a dual meet. It was one of my most exciting moments in coaching. In 1986, we set a strong team to nationals. Our 400-yard medley relay of Sharon Bittner, Jenny Crossan, Donna Meyer, and Liz McKnight achieved All-America Honorable Mention recognition. There are several high-achieving swimmers from the years 1984 to 1989. Three that I'd like to mention briefly are Jennifer Crossan, 86, who was our first Hall of Fame swimming inductee. She placed second in the 50-yard breaststroke in 1984 and also swam relays at nationals. Jen is now a lawyer in Richmond and would have liked to be here but had a work conflict. Second was Liz McKnight Watler, who swam and made either final or consolation finals in nationals, all 4 of her years here. That's a Sweet Briar record. I think the last year she made finals in all 3 of the events. Liz became a teacher after graduating and later a principal in a private school. The third is Donna Meyer-Hyger, class of '89, whom you've already met. Donna was one of our most outstanding swimmers, swam in 2 NCAA national meets, was it 2 or 3? 2. And held several school records in the butterfly and individual medley events for a number of years, large number of years. She was also our head swim coach at Sweet Briar for 4 years and athletic director here in 2017-2018. Here is Donna swimming a 200 butterfly probably in 1987 or 88. From 1987 to 1997, as Donna mentioned, I stepped away from coaching to focus on teaching, department chair, and athletic director duties. We had 2 part-time coaches during that time, Eric Grimshold from 1987 to 1992, and Colette Jamerson from 1992 to 97. Both were knowledgeable and well-qualified coaches. But in 1996, I felt that the program needed a full-time head coach again, so I returned to coaching and led the team from 1997 to 2003. So let's jump ahead from 2001 to 2004. I know it's a lot of years, I'm sorry. This is a photo of our 2001 team at championships, I believe. And in the top row on the far left is Kelly Espy, one of our most outstanding assistant coaches for several years. Where is Kelly? I'm so honored that so many of you came back, and from really long distance. I have 2, a couple that came from South Carolina. Donna came from South Carolina. Kelly was in Maryland. It's just very, means a lot to me. Kelly was also our director of residence life at Sweet Briar, a challenging job. She was a great help, had a lot of spirit, and added much positivity to our team. After leaving Sweet Briar, she served as head coach at her alma mater, Emory Henry College, and is now director of admissions at St. James School in Maryland. I'm delighted that you made the trip down here, Kelly. Thank you. In 2002, I was named ODAC Coach of the Year for the 4th time, and Autumn Matisic-Snyder, class of '04, now Autumn Fish, what a great last name, an outstanding distance freestyler and butterfly, was named ODAC Swimmer of the Year. Autumn set school records in some of these events. Sadly, she had a back injury and was only able to compete for a little over 2 of her 4 years here. After graduating in 2004, she worked for admissions here for a few years, and now she's happily raising 2 children, one of whom is a daughter named Daisy. Is Sweet Briar possibly her future? The next 2 slides feature Lauren Friend McKelvey, class of '03. At one time, Lauren held school records in the 1650-yard freestyle and the 200-yard breaststroke. Lauren was incredibly dedicated to our team. Where's Lauren? There you are, you can see. In her junior year, Lauren, while studying at American University, she took her junior year abroad in this country. She trained with their team, but she would come to our meets any chance she could do it and compete with us, which was a great blessing to us. And this shows the incredible dedication and love of our team that she had. In addition, Lauren was an outstanding student, was named presidential medalist, and was our first and only student athlete so far to win an NCAA postgraduate scholarship. She studied law at Georgetown University following graduation and is now practicing in Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia. She has 2 daughters, one of whom, Caitlin, high school junior, almost came to be with us this evening. She's a field hockey player and many other things too, so she's opted to stay. All right, so here in the next slide. Yeah, Lauren and Autumn having a good time on a training trip. In 2003, I decided to step down as head coach and make way for someone younger to take the reins. We hired Jason Gallagher, and I stayed on as his assistant from 2003 to 2007, and then again from 2009 to 2014. I have to tell just a real quick story about Jason. He came for his interview. We were so impressed with him, and one of the swimmers who interviewed him was in on one of the interviews was Michelle Story, who was on our sub-varsity team at that time. And I asked Michelle what she thought of Jason, and she said, "He polishes his shoes, and that impressed me." Yes. Jason was incredibly knowledgeable about the sport and produced some excellent swimmers. I learned much from you, Jason, and thoroughly enjoyed working with you. He was named ODAC Coach of the Year twice in his 9 years with us. Jason left Sweet Briar for 2 years, 2007 to 2009, along with his wife, Carrie. They developed an excellent swim school in the Fredericksburg area. Alex Kuhn came to be our coach for those 2 years. Yeah, there's Alex. And the next slide, too, is Alex. He was another well-qualified coach and a great motivator who brought out some significant improvement in our swimmers. In 2008, he too was named ODAC Coach of the Year. So altogether, we have 7 Coaches of the Year so far in swimming. Jason missed college coaching though, and when Alex left, Jason came back. He said he would have walked his application to Sweet Briar. He and Carrie continued to live in Fredericksburg, though, and Jason amazed me by commuting to Sweet Briar every day from Fredericksburg to coach our key team in the fall of 2008, sometimes at very early hours of the morning. Can you imagine that level of dedication? That lasted for 1 semester. And then he wisely rented a house on campus. For several years, I led Learn to Swim programs in our pool for local children. Jason Gallagher did that as well. And now Monica Solis, our current head coach, is starting to do that, some of that as a service to the community and a fundraiser for winter training trips. For a summer interlude in 2005 and 2006, I developed a Learn to Swim program based on biblical principles for a community in Ometepec, Mexico. We had over 50 children in the program, and the photo here shows me training some of the instructors. The following photo shows the teaching manual, which was formatted by a wonderful woman, Sue Carr, from Sports Outreach Institute. And they still have the teaching manuals. Whether they're using them, I don't know. We had, let's see, the following photo shows our team under Jason Gallagher again, probably in 2010, do you think? I'm not sure. It was one of his second years with us teams. Katie Gumpman-Springer, class of 2010, was on the team that year, and after graduating, she served as an assistant coach with us. She's now working to mobilize alumni support for our team in the Richmond and Williamsburg areas. Thank you, Katie. This next slide shows Jennifer Milby Gutierrez, a talented freestyler who also helped us out the year after she graduated, mainly with recruiting, and Jen's here too. Yeah, here's Jen. She's already, Katie has already contacted our coach, Monica, about bringing some alums to a meet they're going to be swimming out in that part of the state. Jen is the one to my left in this photo. Donna Hodger became our head coach from 2014 to 2018. Donna leads by example as she is an accomplished swimmer and also a triathlete. She has many coaching accolades, and we were fortunate to have her take over the helm after Jason left us. Here are some photos of her Sweet Briar swimmers and teams. Jerry Diamond was our coach from 2018 to 23, and his swimmers improved greatly, with one achieving a second place finish in the 200-yard butterfly in Odax, breaking Donna Hodgen's long-standing school record. Look at how long that record lasted. But the amazing thing is she had just swum in the 1650 final, maybe half an hour before the 200 fly. Almost won it. It was a couple of tenths of a second, if that. The next two slides, I skipped one. The next slide shows our current team on senior day last spring. Monica Solis, our head coach, is in it for the next chapter. Where are you, Monica? In addition to developing a strong team, wants to develop a culture of student athletes who work hard, respect, and care for one another, and have fun while training. Very much the qualities and characteristics that Robin was talking about in those early teams, and that still are characteristic of the Sweet Briar teams, and I'm very proud of that. The next two slides show our newly renovated pool with the new ceiling, skylight. Deep thanks to Mary Pope Hudson, Claire Griffith, and those who gave generously to this renovation. Thank you. And I finally had my Olympic debut appearance in Paris this last summer. Thank you, Bonnie. There are a few people I would like to recognize before wrapping this up. First, Kristen Kestner-Mattis, if I can say it right, and Wiley Kestner, who came on training trips with me. Kristen was a great help and good moral support in her high school and college years. And I also remember Wiley placing the grapefruits at the end of the lanes so they could have some citrus energy. Paul Cronin is another one. He's a Hall of Famer who wasn't able to be here today. But he was the director of our very successful riding program, a man I respect highly. He was our wonderful department chair and athletic director for several years when we were all in one department. Ella and Mark Magruder were also with us in the dance department. Interesting times together, shall we say. Rebecca McCord was a good friend of many years and my piano coach. She wasn't able to be here this evening. Martha Campbell, who faithfully served our department for many years with custodial services at the gym. Where are you, Martha? I don't think he's here, but Jeff, is Jeff Miller here from physical plant? He's spent many hours trying to fix our heating system. And then there's Jim Kirkwood, who was a tremendous supporter of all of our athletic teams. Jim, if I'm not mistaken, did you even coach our volleyball team for a season? Yes. It's hard to remember that. Well, thank you for all your wonderful support and contributions. And another one from Mark and Ella, their daughter Mia, who was a coach in our Learn to Swim program. She also swam on my summer team one year at Forest area swim team. I have a lot of people to thank: Claire Griffith and her staff for putting on this wonderful event. And certainly President Mary Pope Hudson, fellow Hall of Famer. Athletic Director Jason Tony, I just learned how to pronounce your name. And Sports Information Guru Nicole Schmenti. Where are you, Nicole? We have a great athletics department here, some fine coaches and full-time athletic directors. We have an administration that supports us and a president in particular who understands the value of a strong athletic program. We are a family. We teach and uphold the values of good sportsmanship and supporting and caring for one another. I'm deeply honored to have been a part of the Sweet Briar Athletics family, and I look forward to seeing where we go from here. Thank you, and congratulations again to Robin Behm and an amazing three-sport athlete. And I am honored to be in your Hall of Fame class.
Thank you, Bonnie. One quick housekeeping note before we move to the end of our evening. I do want to share with all of you tonight that we are currently wrapping up our Friends of Athletics Fall Giving campaign. And if the spirit moves you tonight and you would like to donate to a specific sport or sports or the department as a whole, you can do so by visiting our website at vixenathletics.com. Please click on the first news story link and follow the prompts to make your donation there. Donations can be made on a one-time basis or pledged as a yearly or monthly donation. They can be paid in full or spread out. All donations will go a long way in ensuring that Sweet Briar can continue to give its student athletes the best experience possible and are greatly appreciated. And operators are currently standing by. Before we leave tonight, I would like to thank the current Hall of Famers, college administrators, coaches, faculty, staff, student athletes, for joining us tonight as we honor the 2024 Athletics and Riding Hall of Fame class. The bar has been set very high by this class and classes before them for all of us to live up to. I would like to thank our inductees and their families and friends for joining us today. The contributions to the department and Sweet Briar College will not be forgotten. A 13th century poet once wrote, "You were born with potential, you were born with goodness and trust, you were born with ideals and dreams, you were born with greatness, you were born with wings. You were not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly." We preach to our current student athletes about leaving behind a legacy for others to follow, and these Hall of Fame classes have certainly accomplished that. They have shown us all how to fly. At this time, our Athletics and Riding Hall of Fame induction ceremony has come to an end. I would ask all of the Hall of Famers, both the ones who have been previously inducted and our two new inductees, if you would please make your way over to the banner so that we can take some photos. Thank you again for coming. Have a great evening.